There's definitely been a lot of leaks in gaming recently when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows and just thousands of copies being sold already, mainly because of the release date getting pushed back. And now we have Battlefield 6 leaks, and it's quite weird because these leaks are actually staying up online for an unusual amount of time. But because of this, we have got to see a lot of gameplay, and I really just want to share my thoughts on the leaks I've seen so far. Of course, I'm not going to post any of it because I don't want to get my channel copyrighted in any way. But the footage everybody is seeing is pre-alpha footage, so it's definitely going to change from now until the game's release. So everything that I talk about now, definitely take it with a grain of salt. Definitely is probably going to change from now until then. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me was the ability to drag down players in Battlefield. This resembles a lot of BattleBit, and if you play BattleBit, when a player goes down, you can actually drag them wherever you want. So this is really helpful when trying to drag a player behind cover so you can get a more safer revive. I've been asking for something like this ever since I experienced it in BattleBit. I thought it was a really cool gameplay feature, and I feel like a lot of these games should really have that, and it would definitely add to Battlefield in a lot of ways, and I feel like if any game should have it, it should be Battlefield. I feel like lately Battlefield has been going away from realism, and this is kind of bringing it back. So from seeing this, hopefully they are going in a little bit of the right direction now. But overall, from the gameplay, it definitely looks a lot more slower pace, boots to the ground, more of a heavier feeling. Definitely not like what we've seen in Battlefield 2042. I don't think I've seen any tactical sprinting, and I'm not too sure if I've seen any sliding or not. I don't believe I did, but they could always add these in. Like I said, this is pre-alpha footage. But by seeing things play out a little bit slower, I think they are going back to more of the traditional Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 style, which I'm really hoping they do, because 2042, to me, it felt a little bit too much like COD. It just felt too loose in the gameplay. I want more of a heavier feeling where you're just, kind of holding position, making shots count, and just kind of doing it tactically. And I do like to see the communication between our AI players, our own characters that we're playing as. They're talking about stuff that's going on around them. They're not talking about things that make no sense at all with like hero phrases like we've seen in 2042. The players are being very communicative, and like I said, they're talking about things that's really happening around them. So it just makes sense. And again, it is adding to the realism, which I'm all for in a Battlefield game. Definitely need to see a lot more of it. And with the gameplay that I've seen, destruction is back in one of the craziest and best ways I've seen in a long time from a Battlefield game. It definitely reminded me of Battlefield 3 in so many ways. And of course, this had to be a main focus point for them because 2042 just lacked destruction in so many ways, other than the Portal game mode. But in the core gameplay of just Battlefield 2042 with specialists and everything, it was just lacking, and it didn't make any sense considering this is a Battlefield game. I feel like they just really lost their identity with 2042, but hopefully they're trying to get back to the real identity of Battlefield. And in the footage that I watched, there was actually a tank explosion. So the tank would get damaged and then catch fire, and then a few seconds later it would explode, and it just created so much destruction, just something that we've been craving. But seeing all this is definitely going to be a very chaotic gameplay experience, at least from right now what I'm seeing, which is always a good thing for Battlefield. Like I've been saying, they need to go back to the roots with Battlefield 3. And with Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, you just was in a chaotic environment so much. It was just so much fun. And with 2042, just sometimes felt like a walking simulator. The maps were not designed the best. And gameplay wise, there wasn't too much action. I felt like it was mainly just shooting, which of course is what you want in an FPS game. But Battlefield has always relied on vehicles and just destruction, crazy moments, explosions, and it just wasn't there in 2042. But I am seeing it there a lot more in this pre-alpha footage, so hopefully, again, this is a step in the right direction. I did mention specialists a second ago, and in this gameplay, I didn't see any specialists, which is a tremendous sign. And it definitely looks like classes are back. I did see an engineer class, so it looks like we are going back to our 4 traditional classes, which I believe they said a while ago in some postings. And I think by them doing this, of course, it was done in other Battlefields and it worked out perfectly fine. But with 2042, like I said, they went a different route with a specialist system. They tried something new. I'll give them something for trying something new, but it just didn't work out. And with the specialists, definitely when the game first released, for them allow any character to have like any gadgets, it really just took away from, supporting roles, like just role play in general. And Battlefield has always been a game with supporting roles at certain moments. You know, whenever somebody's down, of course you need a medic. Then when somebody needs ammo, you know, you got your support class. And in 2042, it just wasn't like that. Anybody could have ammo, anybody could have meds, and it just took away from role play, and it was just definitely missing in 2042. But hopefully, from what I've seen in this, it will go back to its roots and be some nice gameplay. Now, there's not really too much to say about the maps on here. This is pre-alpha footage, so a lot of the things we are seeing, the graphics are not that great. There's definitely a lot more polishing that needs to be done, but I'm not expecting, you know, AAA map designs at pre-alpha footage right now. Mainly, this testing is all about this gameplay, making sure your core mechanics are feeling right to the people that's testing it out. But I will say, from map designs, it does look like you know, they're taking our words to heart, because a lot more cover, like I said, a lot more destruction, a lot more close environments at times. It doesn't feel like a walking simulator like how 2042 maps felt at certain points. The environment definitely feels more rugged. It feels like a war zone. I mean, I think I mentioned before in other videos, but it's 2042. It was too clean. It was just too polished in a way where it felt like this can't really be a war zone. But with this gameplay, we're seeing destruction, we're seeing explosions, we're seeing things on fire, buildings falling. So definitely going back to the core of Battlefield, and I couldn't be happier about it. So by me saying all this, I think they are definitely going in the right direction. This is very too early to tell, I will say, but just off from what I've seen, it definitely looks like Battlefield 3-esque, you know, and Battlefield 4, but like I said, way too soon to tell. But from what I've seen in the comments of these videos, it looks like people are kind of thinking the same way. This looks really good, but anything Battlefield wise, you gotta take with a grain of salt. You know, to me, Battlefield 2042, I was so hyped up by the trailers, and it came out just a complete disaster. But with everything I've seen, I think they're definitely going in the right direction. Anything that's going to resemble Battlefield 3, to me, is going to be a success. I'm really just hoping that their main focus is gameplay, you know, destruction, just quality, everything that goes into gameplay. I don't want to see too many microtransactions. This is EA, so we're definitely going to see that, but I just don't want it to take the focus away so much from the game, because I feel like now at this point, they need an absolute great game to release. 2042 just left everybody in rubble because it was just such a disaster launch. They did go back and fix a lot of the problems, and the game is in a lot better state than what it was when it released. But hopefully this next Battlefield entry will put the Battlefield franchise back on track. And to me, that's really the things I found interesting in the footage I've seen. But definitely let me know down in the comments everything that you've seen from the footage that you found pretty interesting, and if you are liking what you're seeing and how much it resembles Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And I should actually have a Battlefield 3 video coming out here in the future, so definitely be on the lookout for that. I absolutely had a great time going back and playing the old Battlefield. But if you liked the video, please subscribe.